What's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Man, happy Friday to all of you. Hope you're enjoying this Friday. Reminders, today is the last day for the January specials. We were doing it for 10 days. Many of you have responded. Thank you for all who purchased credit repair, purchased tax lien courses, purchased how to be an author. I mean, we are booking you guys all the way into the second week, all the way until I think we're in the 9th, Friday, February the 9th, booking people. So super excited to be talking to all of you. Super thrilled. Thank you for participating. Thank you for taking action on your own life. So anyways, you guys, you know it. You knew it was coming. Your girl had to do it. State of the Union address and some of my thoughts and some of my reactions and how to thrive in the Trump years. Many people that I listen to on the radio, which crack me up, are like, oh man, yesterday I felt like I got my country back. And I just laughed. I'm like, so you're trying to tell me under Obama you lost your country? Him and his wife were the most educated, most eloquent, well-dressed people I've ever seen in my life. They came out of a major city and they were an American dream story, but you lost your country? So there's some people you can't help and there's some people you can't help. So let's hit the big points that people are missing. Number one, business and landowners have always been who the tax code is written for. Period. Point blank, period. It is who the tax code has always helped. There's a reason Mitt Romney really didn't want people to be off in his tax business like that, because he just owned land after land. Now, the same thing goes for Oprah. Oprah's biggest thing is not the fact that she owns OWN or that she has all these studios and stuff like that. The fact that she owns a lot of land. Oprah has houses in mad different zip codes, okay, and owns ranches all over the United States. Now, some of that, if you notice some of these other stars, they're writing them off as farms and ranches by having honeybees on them, having, cattle graze them and different things like that. So they're able to get tax write-offs on these land. Another thing is business owners. A lot of people will go, when they first start trying to be an entrepreneur or kind of go down the business path, they start a home-based business or they join some of these MLM groups. And what they'll notice is they didn't make a lot of money from the MLM group, but they did get some tax breaks when they did their taxes. Why? Because 9 times out of 10, the husband and wife are working. They did the MLM. Maybe it didn't make money, but the tax write-offs were beautiful and they got nice checks back. That's what keeps a lot of people in those groups until they figure out a way to kind of grow business independently. So again, the tax code was always written for business owners and landowners. And if you noticed what you saw the other night, that tax code, yeah, it made it seem nice. It made it sound like people are getting bonuses. People are getting some money back this year. But in 10 years, it's a kick the can down the road anyway. In 10 years, about 85 million people are going to be paying more taxes. Why? We'll have more baby boomers home. We'll have more entitlements that we have to pay out. I don't know if you guys know this, but I think it's almost like 57 million Americans have disabilities. Now, that can range from anything. That can range from wheelchair bound to autism to blindness to my 600-pound life. I'm really not even joking. A lot of people on my 600-pound life get disability because they're unable to move and they're unable to work and their health prevents them from working. So if you didn't notice, a lot of people, when they worked from unemployment for 2 or 3 years and they were in their 50s and they couldn't find jobs, they switched over to what? Disability. Okay. You're even talking about veterans who get 10, 15, 20%, 30%. They're also under that. So that's what people don't realize. So again, business owners, landowners. Now, a thing I'm going to point out, not to be racial, but just to point it out on this channel, 1 in 10 Asians own a business, 1 in 34 whites, 1 in 54 Hispanics, and 1 in 8 blacks. Those numbers aren't great. They really aren't for everyone, but I can assure you, I know a lot of Asians, and it's not that all of them are owning a brick and mortar business out front where they have a storefront and they're there. A lot of times, many of my friends' parents got them to go down and get DBAs and open up business bank accounts when they're 18 and 19. Didn't do anything with the account, just had the account. These are some of the same people I know who parents put them on as authorized users for American Express cards. So while we're in college and they're 20, they're getting $20,000 American Express cards in the mail. Now, one of my friends who I think she's Antigua, or she's from one of the islands. Her military father was from one of the islands. He came to school, took that card and cut it up, trying to help her future. But at the end of the day, a lot of those people are in a whole nother lane. If you get your kid on record with a business bank account, 12 years running strong, no negatives, no big negative drafts from the account, what bank is going to say no? Right? Now they could probably go, well, we don't have a lot of tax returns on that business, or what has the business been doing all these years? But at the end of the day, they are on record for having a business for years. So we're talking about how to get in that next lane. All right. So again, business landowners, the stocks, the taxes in 10 years are going to switch the other way. Number 3, bonuses and firings. No matter how many millions you cut to these businesses, it is not their goal to go hire more people. A lot of companies are seeing they can get by just fine understaffed. Now, is that a good thing? No. I think when you run companies understaffed, it's you can see the hecticness when you go into Chick-fil-A or anywhere, right? And it's not enough Chick-fil-A people. It's annoying because it's a high-paced environment. That's the same way it goes for smaller companies. Especially here in Austin, you have a lot of little offices. You'll go in and you're like, what are y'all doing in here? And it'll be like 8 people. And literally, they'll be doing such monumentous work that you cannot believe, like, only 8 people work here. And there's really no incentive for those small time business owners to hire more people if the office environment's chill and everybody enjoys themselves and the work gets done. Yeah, maybe hectic, but there's not a real incentive to hire more people. Thanks for the cuts. Thanks for the bonuses. No real incentive. Number 4, Black unemployment. It's the lowest it's ever been. Well, let's keep it real. It's been going down for the past 6 years. But I always say there's an exception to it. Chicago, New York City, Baltimore, and a few other places that Black males have 40, sometimes 50% unemployment. Now, here's my conundrum with this. I know people, when I worked at H&R Block for 3 years in a row, there were several people in there who were under-reporting. Here in Austin, I meet Hispanic people who are under-reporting. Grandpa Juan or Daddy Juan works 2 and 3 jobs, but Daddy Juan only reports 2 of the jobs, right? For whatever reason, he just only reports 2. Or Daddy Juan does side work or cuts grass or does stuff on the weekends, but that's under the table. So I think there's a lot of under-reporting, and I think that happens in all communities, but I also think in the Black community, I don't think that many Black men are just sitting at their mom's house not working. That doesn't make sense. A lot of those folks are Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, doing some kind of part-time work, helping around the house, helping around places. They're not just sitting on your butt. That math doesn't add up. Now, but in the true scheme of things, 1 in 3 men, 19 to 34, do live at home. So when they talk about millennials living at home, that is some truth there. But I don't think, I think some of the people are underreporting their unemployment. Now, when Trump was running, he was talking about unemployment was 20%. I would say I agree with some of that, because when I go out in the daytime for lunch, because I make it a commitment to myself to go have lunch outside the house and not be on office calls, because the other part of our office is actually in Atlanta. I make it a mission to go out of the house. I make it a mission to go eat lunch, go places, and I see just tons of people out. And I talk to a lot of them. Some of them just do part-time work. Some work for hotels from home, Marriott. They do the phone calls. Some do some processing. Some do part-time work for UPS. It's a lot of people who are underworking. And the only reason underworking is working for them and they're sitting at Pluckers at lunch having a beer with me or at anywhere is because they're in a housing situation where 2 or 3 people are renting rooms in a house. Or they bought their house early in Austin. And now their mortgage is good. They cover their mortgage. They have no major bills. They keep a paid off car. I know several engineers with paid off cars, and they just keep them and they drive them because, at the end of the day, when you do good math and you do accounting, some of these people can stay unemployed and it doesn't matter. They can do part-time work and get along. I think that's why minimalism is so big, is because they're kind of going under the radar. They're kind of just floating along the system. As long as bills are covered, they're good. Now, are some of these people going to be hurt in the next recession? For sure and for not. Now, here's my take on that. If you've got your bills so low that really Only thing popping for you is $1,200 mortgage and your food and lights and your car's paid off. You got liability insurance. Yeah, as long as you've got some savings or you do enough work to get about $2,000 in, because let's be honest, if that person works a $10 an hour job full time for a month, they got all their stuff covered. And I know that doesn't sound exciting. No one wants to hear that, but that's the true minimalist person. They're got a house full of food. Their Honda, nice Honda from 2010 is paid off. They're just enjoying themselves on a lower budget. That's all, right? So again, that's why Austin, Texas has a happy hour website, and it's just a website listing every single happy hour, every single restaurant in Austin, because it's that real. People only go out when it's a happy hour, right? So another thing, 5, moving from what you want to what you need to. What I saw in that State of Union stress is a lot of people are going to have some change, and I don't think they're prepared for it, right? They're not prepared to really have to do what they have to do, right? And people don't like when I say that, have to do. They don't have to do anything, Erica, but you do. You do have to, at some point, make growth and make changes. It blows my mind when I meet people who their mom live in the projects, they live in the projects, they have a baby. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's second generation of y'all being there. That projects is a temporary location. Same thing goes when I meet people who live in rural small towns and they complain about Texas. They're like, Texas is in a recession. I go, well, if Texas is in a recession, damn, China must be in a depression because you're crazy. And I remember working at a apartment complex. I tell this story often on the channel. I worked at an apartment complex and it was for Section 8. It was for like income adjusted housing, but it was like a brand new apartment complex. It was beautiful. And I meet girls in there who are working 2 jobs and they got a kid and they're like, she's like, yeah, I'm gonna hit him up for more child support, which was not uncommon to hear that in the front office when they paid their rent, but it was kind of sad to hear. Or we had this one girl who had a master's degree in HR and was like, yeah, jobs out here. I'm like, you have a master's degree. So basically all you've been doing from 18 to 26 is having children, she had 2, and going to school. That is a recipe for disaster. The best thing I could have told her, I think I talked to her twice and told her, why don't you go to Lowe's, Home Depot, or H-E-B here, which is a giant grocery store chain here in Texas, if you know anything about H-E-B. And they hire and train you on the job for HR because a lot of companies are getting rid of HR positions. HR, they can outsource that. They can get job recruiters and bring them people. They don't have to keep an on-staff HR person. And the HR person is really for the company and not for the people. So if you're going into HR thinking that I'm going to communicate between the business, between the boss and the people. Nah, boo-boo, you're going there to maintain office style and profile and how things go down in the office. That's what you're there for. I don't think you realize that. But those people are going to get hurt because they're waiting too long to do what they have to. There's a really great number that I shared. Glenn and Cameron actually shared it today to double check it. But $27 a day, and the reason I say 27 and not 28 is because it's just the number, right? $27 a day. When I was working in Papa John's and I was working with the waitresses at Logan Steakhouse, and these were like 2 different part-time jobs I had on top of my full-time job because I was just overspending. I was trying to fix my budget. And they were like, girl, what are you doing? All you have to do is save $27 a day. And I looked at this woman who was 50 years old and still a waitress and thought, what? Again, this is why I'm always saying, be careful, listen to the message, not always the messenger. Okay, because so many people get caught up if it ain't Ty Lopez or a superstar saying it or a super hot person, they're not listening. This woman who was 50 years old, had a paid off house and 2 paid off cars, was telling me, looking me dead in the face and go, just save $27 a day for a year and you'll have $10,000. Now I listened to her, but I didn't, and I kind of put it in the back of my mind. And then I went and did pizza delivery later. And the first thing the guy said, oh yeah, just save $27 a day. You'll have 10 grand. And I laughed because I realized I've heard this number before. This is the second time me hearing someone say this. Now at that Papa John's, every dude there owned his own house. Why? Because they claimed their tips. So many people are trying to stay under the radar, trying to hide. Oh, I don't want everybody knowing my business. I don't want to pay more in taxes. And you got to do that sometimes. You got to claim those tips so you can get ahead. And I call it a year of sacrifice. It's number 5 and number 6. Number 5 is moving from what you want to what you need to, and number 6 is year of sacrifice. Many people are, you know, many people are saying, Erica, oh my God, I just want to spend more time with my kids. I want to sit at home and relax. No, what you want to do is veg out and watch TV for hours. Because the average study across the whole United States says the average person spends 20 minutes full time, uninterrupted time with their kid. And I can bet you money that's bath time, or that's bedtime when you're fussing with them, or that's dinner time. That you didn't spend all afternoon with Johnny. You didn't sit down and do the homework with him. You didn't do all that stuff. You did not. Don't lie. Take a day or 2 or 2 or 3 days a week and knock out extra income for your family. Figure out where you got to make it do what it do. Okay. So on that note about year of sacrifices, many of the people I read on the blog the other day on this blog was like, yeah, man, I got 60,000 in student loan debt. I got 40,000. I got 20,000. Under each comment, you know what I did? I became a troll. I literally went, 60,000, that's just $6,000 a year for 10 years. That's just an extra $500 a month. That's just $500 a month. You know what that means? That means you can go Uber for 2 weekends and have that money. That's it, right? Okay, let's get it down to the person that said they own 20,000. I was like, $20,000? That's $2,000 a year. That's $150 a month. Are you kidding me? Now, I know everybody's gonna say, Erica, what about interest? We're not talking about that. We're just talking about basic, no interest included math for them to see how crazy they were saying they're gonna die with $20,000 in student loan debt. No, boo-boo, go to another job. Go get DoorDash. Go walk dogs. Go haul junk. Go clean out your whole house and sell everything. Whatever you have to do, go become a truck driver. Pays 50 to 80 grand a year. If you think you're gonna be in debt forever, pick a year of sacrifice. Pick a year of sacrifice. And nobody wants to pick a year of sacrifice. Oh man, Erica, I got kids. Your kids don't want you in poverty. They don't want you waiting until they're 18 and going to college and you finally get your life and your money right. Nobody wants that. Trust me. I remember living in a neighborhood and other kids were kind of picking on me. They couldn't understand how my mom was in the house we were in on a lake, 3 bedroom, 3 bath, 2-car garage, house on the lake, acre lot, 2 cars in the yard, paid off. And people's parents are like, well, what is she doing over there? She must get a lot of divorce, alimony. Funny thing is, my mama wasn't getting alimony. You know what my mama told me to tell those people? If I can manage my money with one person in the house, why can't they manage their money with 2 parents in a house? And I remember a couple of those kids going home with their parents, and I didn't get to hang out with a couple of them after that. But that's the truth. People over there counting other people's money. It's just the truth. So again, a year of sacrifice, doing what you need to do, not what you want to do. Number 7, immigration changes. Now, I've been very lenient on the immigrants because even though I was here in Austin, I realized there's a whole secondary, third market, black market where Hispanic people, they do cash on cash on cash. So much cash that there's a Mexican restaurant I like to go to, very authentic. They play Spanish music in the background. There's no English spoken anywhere except for your waitress if she realizes, oh, these aren't Hispanic people. They'll try to speak English to you. Long story short, there's an armed guard at that restaurant that walks the parking lot and walks the door with a gun on his hip, not hidden, on his hip. He's ready. I thought this kid was like, he had an Afghan scarf on and everything. I'm like, where are you going to Baghdad? Where are you going? But it's because of all the cash that's coming in there. Those Hispanic people aren't swiping credit cards and debit cards. They're doing cash. And when they leave out of that place at night, it's full of cash. If you go to some of the flea markets over here, just Hispanic only flea markets, it's full of cash. The police, and they hire private security, Hispanic security to sit out there because they know it's full of cash. And if you were grimy enough, you could hit that place and make tons of money. But that's why when people say, oh, I don't want to do a business, I don't want to do that. Our immigrant brothers and sisters, when they come here, they did not come to play. They did not come to have a cookout every weekend and go turn up every Friday and have nothing to show for it. To do that. And so when you see a group of people growing and changing, people track them. Prime example, Texas did an article and thought it was one of the most mind-blowing articles I've ever seen in a newspaper, but nobody was talking about it. Literally, it says, we've been tracking thinking they would basically go into mainstream America. Now, when they said mainstream America, I knew what it meant. It meant, white collar jobs, accountants, doctors, lawyers, blah, blah, blah. And 90% of them do not. 90% do exactly what their parents do. And that's low wage jobs, construction companies, grass cutting companies, some kind of business, some kind of sales, car sales. There's a ton of Hispanic car dealerships all over Texas. And in that article, I realized what they were thinking. We're just going to absorb these people in our country, and they're going to take over these jobs when these older baby boomers just retire out of their work. And that's just, that right there, it just hit me. I'm like, they've been watching these people, hoping these people would kind of take over. So what did that mean? That means it kind of ignored Black students, kind of ignored Asian students. They'd be all right. And we're looking and hoping Hispanic students would fall into place. But guess what? As goes Texas, as goes the rest of the United States. Plain and simple. I could have told them this living in North Carolina. A lot of our Hispanic people do exactly what their parents do. And a lot of the Black people do exactly what their parents do. And a lot of Asian people do what their parents do. Again, when I tell you about my Asian friends whose moms and dads had flea market stores, a lot of them, when they left ECU, they went and got a little storefront, paid up their commercial rent for a year, and just, guess what? Sold things online, sold things on eBay, sold things at the flea market. The stores were never really what you say. I'm trying to think about the way to have to say it nice. They were never really stores for you to come and visit and shop. They were always kind of set up like they were a shop, but really the whole back is him just spending all day selling things on eBay and boxing and sending things, and UPS store coming to pick things up. And that's going to be that's really how retail in smaller cities and smaller storefronts is going to work. You're going to be selling things online all day. You're going to and the UPS truck comes and picks it up and gets it out of here. You're going to be your main goal. I mean, in North Carolina and I live in Texas, that storefront's just there. It's just there for the mail to come. It's just there for the bank to feel comfortable. It's just there so if you meet for meetings, if you have to. But overall, it's just going to be a place where you send and ship things. It's not going to be where we do our real business. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it at 100. But to go further into the immigration thing, what I'm talking about is I'm here in Austin, and I can tell you I saw it in Raleigh, North Carolina, happening before I left. In Texas, a lot of Indian families are when I was in the apartment industry as a manager, it'd be a 2-bedroom with a big apartments we had. They're very popular. All the Indian people came and they only wanted that type of apartment. And we couldn't figure out why. They didn't like any other styles. They just wanted that type of apartment. We were like, okay, cool. Well, we'd come in and do something. And Indian people are notorious for wanting you to fix everything in their apartment. Oh, our blinds broke. Or a knob broke off the stove. This broke. I want it fixed. Why? Because in their home country, nobody cares and nobody fixes it. It just stays broken. It's very common in Indian culture. So when they come here, they're very needy for you to fix things because it's America. You're supposed to fix it. So what happens is we would come in there and they would have a mother, father, and a baby in one bedroom, a mother, father, baby in another bedroom, and some guy who was sleeping on the couch in his clothes in a corner in beds. And our maintenance guy would look around very quietly, very calmly, look around, make sure he looked around and let them know. And they came to the office and told us. What we realized, we would send out notes and say, listen, you guys can't have that many people in there. That's against Austin laws, because some of our 2 bedrooms weren't really legally 2 bedrooms. They didn't have a door on the second room, or they didn't have a closet. So really it was a 1 bedroom with a study or an office. So again, they would stack up in that apartment. And the funny thing is, these were engineers. It was your husband making $100,000, an engineer intern that was new making $80,000, another intern over there from India making probably $80,000 as well. They could afford to have their own apartments, but the key was getting a lot of them to come. What they would do is stack in that apartment. So by the time you divide that rent across the 3 of those people, they're paying what, $200, $300 a month to live there. That's easy peasy, paying that a month, and a lot of them would pay up their rent for the year. And then all of a sudden you look up and one of them would get a house. Oh, we got a brand new house. And one of the guys out of the apartment that claimed to not live there all of a sudden showed up to our front office to fill out paperwork for another apartment or to take over the lease of the other guy. It'd be hilarious. It'd be super hilarious. And that would happen all the time. Now, where would these people go in Austin? They'd go to Cedar Park, Go Google Cedar Park, Texas, anytime you want. The Asian population is high. But what happened before all the, what they are Asian, they're Southeast Asian, they're Indians. Go over there. It was all where the white people were flying to. Cedar Park was originally white flight. Getting out of Austin, getting out of the Hispanic 70% minority schools of Austin, Texas, getting further north. Leander, Austin, Round Rock, all that. That's what's escape. That was all like broke white people getting out. Then the Indians came. And they get into these houses with 4 or 5 bedrooms and 3 baths. And guess what? It is a repeat of what's going on in the apartment. So when I heard Trump talk about chain immigration, I knew what he was saying was true because I've witnessed it firsthand in the apartment industry and in the housing, where there's 8, 9, 10 family members coming off the back of one person. We had a friend in high school who wanted to be a cop, but his parents wanted to be an engineer. And in the end, he won. He went and became a cop. His process for meeting a wife, they kept bringing different girls for him to meet. And every girl had the same request. I would like my brother to come here to go to school. I would like my parents to come here. And I thought, well, that's weird. That's weird for somebody to ask you that on a date. But that's the game. This is some girl from their parents' town, and they need to come to America. And, and I'm not knocking them, because to be an immigrant and come here is a lonely thing. And every single one I've talked to, they go, why do Americans just close themselves up in their house? So I believe them that it's being lonely in America. But when the girl comes, she wants to bring her brother to go to college. She wants to bring her mom and dad. She wants to bring her cousins, because it is a lonely thing. And so they congratulate in these houses. And if you're here in Austin, you see these people, what they've done over the course of just me being here 5 years is there are 45 new Indian stores and 10 different new Indian grocery stores. They do not play. They spend money with their own. They put money in their own pockets, and they didn't come here to play. So Trump can say all these things about immigration, but these are the same people who are going to get business visas, and business visas allow you to get up to 5 employees. Who are those 5 employees going to be? Their family members. Straight up. They're going to be their family members. They didn't come here to play. Just to say, how do you thrive under Trump? Business ownership, land ownership. That's why you see so many people doing minimalism, see people starting a business. That's why you see a lot of people returning to farming, which I'm going to do a video about again, because I feel like I didn't finish Landlocked book and we got to go back to it. I'm going to hit up some of your comments here in a second. But again, bonuses and firings, black unemployment, a year of sacrifice, immigration chain. So look, let me check out some of this stuff real quick, because I got to run today, but I got y'all. Marcus Smith. Amend those taxes, man. Last 3 tax terms. Jamaica, that understaffing is short-lived until a real problem comes up. From my experience, they are coasting on work from skilled people no longer at the company. Ooh, truth. Yep. Yep, about Trump, okay. Mo P, U.S. is broke. There is no money. They're shifting it. That's what they're doing. Okay. Joshua Hill, I moved to North VA near DC. Woo! Not realizing how expensive it is. It's very expensive. Seriously thinking about moving further south or back to GA. I'll tell you this really quickly. A lot of my friends who went to East Carolina with me, they were like, I can't wait to leave damn North Carolina. I'm going to Virginia. I'm going to Maryland. I'm going to be back up in New York. And guess what? A year or 2 later, they'd be bringing their ass right back down. They worked some of them had government jobs, had good paying 90,000 a year jobs. And they would come get approved for a 3-bedroom, 1-acre, 2-bath house in Raleigh, move down and go, hey, friends from college, anybody want to rent a room for me? And because they know when they moved, they had to get a job that paid them less. So trust me. Joshua P, you need a bag to participate for Mo P. That's kind of funny. Yep, Mo P, that's very true. And GA is cool. My friend lived downtown in a duplex, pays $600 a month with utilities included. Raleigh, North Carolina. I remember telling somebody there was a 2-bedroom for $700. Now Raleigh, North Carolina's gone up. Don't get it twisted. That was like 3 years ago. But like the cost of you telling me I can pay $700 for a 2-bedroom versus I'm in Austin and I'm gonna pay $1,600. Yeah, I missed that. Wow, 1 hour commutes. Yep. Chris McDonald, the Taj Mahal is besieged by trash and vagrants in India. Oh, that don't ruin that for me. I want to see that so bad, but I have a feeling everybody I talk to that's been to India is like, it smells terrible. Exactly like Chicago. Yep. So my grandpa has some rentals in Chicago and a house on like South 92nd Street. He lives around a bunch of Italians. It's super weird, but Chicago is its own thing, and probably gonna have to let those properties go if he dies. Oh yeah, dude. That fake. Have you ever seen fake drywall? And I don't mean it's fake. I mean the fake wall, what we call a fake wall. You can put a fake wall up in a weekend. You just get some. You get some literally some plywood, and you put up some dry. Some get the sheetrock up. People do it all the time, and we would catch them. Now the apartment complex I was in, we didn't catch them there, but I'd hear of stories of people in like lower, cheaper, lower income places, or people turning whole garages into an apartment space. And in Texas, that's dangerous because it gets 100 some odd degrees. And like the law is, if the AC goes out in Texas, you have like 3 hours to be there. Like you have 3 hours to be there because it's life or death, right? And especially if somebody says to have a baby or family. So okay, let's see. I'm probably going to check out the book Economic Hitman, but at the end of the day, Mo there's a lot of black people I know and Hispanic people I know that their family's been in business for 50 years, 50 plus years. They ain't doing crazy going and going. So, ooh, Denver? Yeah, I'm visiting Denver for some friends later this year. Let's see. See. Anyway, but look, gotta run. I just had to do this video real quick in my response to the State of the Union. Some people were like, it was so good. And what made me cry my eyes out was the black family whose daughters were raped and killed. Because you're sitting there saying these are minors that are coming in. And you got to realize, and I'm not trying to be ugly, but a 15, 16-year-old kid from Mexico is not like a 15, 16-year-old United States teenager. It's like a grown man down there. So there were some issues there in the speech that people didn't like. But overall, he said what was needed to be said. So again, you guys have an awesome, awesome day. Happy Freedom Friday, you guys. I'll probably do another video later tonight because I have some things to talk about. So, guys, later.